The number one tip I have for ranking up in Rocket League is learning how to rotate. This video is going to be focused on learning how to rotate in 2v2 scenarios. The biggest indicator that you need to learn how to rotate is if you're always getting scored on in open nets in your own field. A good rotation between you and your teammate will make it almost impossible for you to get scored on. Rotations are definitely the number one skill I think every player should learn in Rocket League, and I feel like there's a lack of videos on in-depth explanations of how to rotate. First off, if you haven't watched Sunless Khan's video on 2v2 rotations, definitely check it out along with Hollow Plays Games, or formerly known as Mason RL. This video is greatly influenced by them, and there will be some overlap in details. These tips will be my best explanation of 2v2 rotations from a Champion 1 level, and I'm also verified by Sunless Khan that I actually don't suck at Rocket. To start off, let's get a picture of the pitch. You should think of the field as having 3 thirds. Well, duh, that's kind of what a third is. But you should think of the field as 3 zones: the offensive zone, the midfield zone, and the defensive zone. Inside these zones, there are also going to be 3 subsections. Basically, you can think of it as having 9 subsections on the field. You never want to be inside another person's subsection, unless your teammate is in need of support in order to play the ball quickly and recycle the rotation. It's kind of difficult to know whether or not you should take over the ball when solo queuing. Although you also don't want to be far away enough where you leave a subsection between you as well, because you want to be able to support your teammate. The whole point of rotations is to constantly pressure your opponents into giving you the ball and holding possession. This pressure allows you to maintain offensive pressure while also creating a defensive structure. Basically, you want to always have one person on the ball. Let's look at an example where rotations are done right. When Belix misses the challenge, I know that I have to pressure my opponent. When he then sees that I have forward possession, he then opens up mid for a pass, and this leads to an easy goal. This shows how spacing is important in creating defensive and offensive pressure. This clip also shows the importance of spacing and knowing whether or not to take the ball from your teammate. Now let's take a look at bad rotation and teammate spacing. After the first ball is played, he should have rotated back towards the midfield/defensive end due to his teammate having a much better angle. Instead, he opts to stay under the ball, converting it into a counterattack for the other team, which leads to an easy goal. A big concept of twos is to generally play safe, since you only have 2 people who cover less of the field than 3. Having one person on the ball does not mean that person has to dive in. Instead, if you're the last one back, you should use the method of shadow defending in order to buy time or force your opponent to make a mistake. Playing like this allows you to do 2 things: make your opponent make more mistakes, allowing you to capitalize, and allowing you to play much more consistently, leading to more wins. Now let's recap the main concepts. Our first point was teammate spacing. You want to be close, but not too close, just enough to create a different option and support. Our second concept is pressure. You always want to have one person on the ball in order to force mistakes. Be careful not to overcommit, which will lead to a stranded teammate or counterattack. Any tackle should be a calculated tackle. The last concept is decision making. You don't need to stop taking risks, but you have to make sure your risks are calculated with a higher chance of a good outcome. Deciding the right times to go for balls is extremely important, and knowing the right times will come with experience. This has been my explanation of 2v2 rotations. I hope you can apply these tips and rank up. If you found any of these tips useful, then subscribe for more content. Follow my Twitch for enjoyable gameplay and more. Thanks for watching, everyone.